It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hello, everyone. It's noon on Wednesday, so that means Gary and I are back with another episode of rAVe TV. Gary, I'm taking over talking right now because Gary's chewing his macadamia nuts.
I just finished chewing them.
All right.
I was asking
I will talk for 30 seconds.
Nuts are bad for me or not?
Why would they be bad for you? It's just...
I don't know. Anything that tastes good is always bad for you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure if you eat too many of them, they're bad for you, but it's just like how anything too much is bad for you. I don't know. Like a whole bag in one sitting probably is not good for you.
Good, because mine's not in a bag. Yeah, this is our...
I love AV news.
This is our... Hey, we got to promote those Hawaiians. This is our weekly TV show, rAVe TV, and we come to you every Wednesday on ravepub.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's Steph Beckett. And
correct, also.
What we got going today, Steph?
Well, I wanted to remind everyone that we will be at ISE this year. We are flying out May 7th, and we are coming back the 14th. So I am very excited to finally have another ISE. It's been 2 years, over 2 years now, because my first and only ISE was ISE 2020, and then, came back, the world shut down. So I was excited to talk about that we will be there, and we will be doing what we do best, running around the show floor.
We're going to do a live... We're doing a live rAVe TV, a couple of episodes, I think, or at least one episode of rAVe TV live on the show floor.
That'll be cool.
In one of our sponsors' booths, maybe both their booths. We might want to try to do that.
Yeah.
But we're also going to do, for those of you who can't go to the show, don't have time to watch all the live coverage we're going to have, we're going to shoot, I don't know, I'm going to guess 800, 900 videos. But for all of those people who don't want to go and don't have time to go, we're going to do our replay. We're going to bring back replay.
Yes.
So we're going to do replay ISE on May 18th. Steph and I will be there from May 18th. Put that on your calendar now. May 18th. Put it on your calendar.
And we will have two different versions of it, right? So that we're creating a version for our friends in Europe. So that is 11 a.m. BST. And then at 11 a.m. PDT, we will do the American one.
Right. So we're going to cover the world.
Yeah, we will cover the world, and
on it
the content will be slightly different. So there will be content that is, more geared toward our U.S. readers and content more geared toward our European readers, hence why we're doing two separate replays. So we would love for you to register. Just register for the one that you feel most encapsulates your interest and where you are.
And actually, you can register now by the link we just put in the comments, or if you just don't want to worry about that, just go to launch.com, lavnch.com.
Yep.
Log into your account and add that to your profile, and we'll make sure that you get it.
Exactly. So we've got some acquisition-y, rebrandy news the past week as well. So Almo Pro AV is now rebranded as Exertis Almo because Exertis bought Almo in December, I want to say.
Yep.
And we all kind of had some questions about how we were supposed to refer to Almo now, how we were supposed to refer to Almo Corporation versus Almo Pro AV. And so this answers that question. And now we will refer to Almo Pro AV as Exertis Almo. So exciting for them.
Yep. And they're basically the North American old Almo Pro AV is now Almo Exertis Almo.
Yes.
And speaking of which, Steph.
Yes.
We'll talk about this more next week.
Oh, yes. E4's coming up.
Yeah, we have the E4 coming up on May 3rd, I think it is. Let me double check the date. I'm pretty sure it's May 3rd. It is May 3rd, Tuesday. If you're in the Chicago area, anywhere around Chicago, please register for the E4. Go to e4experience.com. It will be the biggest E4 we've done in years. And cool thing we're going to have there. LG's bringing their robots, their hospitality robots. And those things actually have AI and they're smart and they're like humans. So they're actually going to be on the show floor. I'm going to interview a robot while I'm there. So
ask it. How many, can you ask it yes or no questions only, or can you ask it?
I don't know. I'm going to find out if it's ever met RTD2. That's basically the question.
Can you also ask it if it plans on taking over the world like the robots did in iRobot, the movie with Will Smith?
2030.
It's important to me.
2030.
Need to know about that.
But in any case, yes, they are rebranded, and obviously ADI and Unify. ADI is now unified their brand. Go ahead, Steph.
Yes. So basically, if you know the brand Herman Pro AV, that will now be considered part of ADI. So I will be releasing. I've got an article I'm working on. Where I interviewed Cynthia Mena, who's the vice president and general manager of, so it's Pro AV at ADI. And she kind of explained what this is going to look like, and more about how the two brands are going to work together, and a little bit more about what Herman, now Pro AV at ADI, does. So for any of you who still have questions about that, keep a lookout for that article. It's going to be up on ravepubs.com very soon. And I hope that leads to exciting things for those two brands as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of consolidation over the last couple of years, and I think there's more to come. There's some big ones coming later this year. And one of those companies that's done a really good job rolling up a bunch of individual companies is Legrand, who's also a sponsor of rAVe TV.
Right.
And they have a strategy for meeting equity, and they have an actual, well, let's go ahead and do this with
roll the tapes.
Roll it.
Meeting equity. What is it? Most simply, it ensures that in-person and remote participants have the same meeting experience. So how do we evolve our collaboration spaces to support meeting equity in hybrid environments? Meet the new Forum Collaboration Suite from Middle Atlantic. This suite of products was designed to solve the challenges of meeting equity brought on by both open and closed hybrid collaboration environments. This is what hybrid looks like. Forum features 2 display stand options, a freestanding or floor-to-wall mounted system in either a light or dark design. Each display stand and included shroud are wrapped in acoustic felt to maximize sound absorption for crystal clear audio when you are collaborating over video. Now, you can't collaborate without somewhere to sit or stand. The Forum tables are the perfect companion to the Forum display stand. Just choose the light or dark design to match. The 3 or 5 person angle shaped table is great for collaboration when most participants are in person. And the 3 person arc shaped table is designed for collaboration when remote participants are the majority. You can also easily connect multiple arc tables together for larger groups. Now that's how you provide meeting equity with the Forum Collaboration Suite. Learn more about how Forum can help you create collaboration spaces for today and the future. Visit legrandav.com/forum.
Okay, so the next corner we're going to have opinion corner, op-ed corner. And that is, we will be featuring an article that is by Chris Gillespie.
And Steph, did you know that I made graphics for Opinion Corner? Did you know that? Yeah, I made some graphics.
Okay,
can we
graphic design.
Come back to me.
Passion. Okay, go to Gary.
Go to Gary. We have to have a graphic segment to make sure that we go to it properly. Oh, I should run it in this way.
Oh.
There you go, Steph.
Wow, graphic design is your passion indeed.
All right.
Anyway, Chris Gillespie wrote this article. And Gary, I'm so interested to get your take on this because Chris is like, video conferencing is terrible. Like, we need to fix it. Like, here are all the things that are wrong with it. Like, yes, technology has advanced in recent years, but there are still so many things that are left to do. And a lot of it is that different clients rely too much on the technology, and that like integration companies are no longer trying to work as hard to get every piece of the furniture perfect in a conference room. And it's more about, oh, just put this technology in here. He said it's just gotten lazy.
I think that good integrators are doing a really good job covering more than just tech, because you have to look at the pieces that get less attention is acoustics, obviously.
Yeah.
You can't fix acoustics with a great microphone. You got problems with acoustics. You're going to continue to have them. Second is, honestly, the sun moves during the day. As Madeline will tell you, we have to readjust my white balance on my camera a couple of times during the day, depending on when I'm recording. So if the sun comes in on this side and sets on this side, and it rises on one side, sets on the other, that's going to create, different colorimetry and different seating conditions, HVAC issues. These are all things that we have to talk to our clients about to make sure that they know that we're more than just a tech provider. And I think what he's getting at here is that you have to do more than just say you have this great product. You have to kind of live what you're talking about.
Well, he brings up like a really good point about the technology he hopes to see more of. And it's something that you've also been begging for like probably 5 years.
Yeah.
The camera in the center of the display, I think he brings up is like, So, and he talks about Microsoft Front Row and how that also like has the opportunity to change how we do video conferencing in an office. I think that there are great options out there. It's all about, I'm going to bring it back to the classic conversation of like, you need to bring in AV earlier. Like if you want to have a conference room with all of this stuff, you can't build a glass room and then ask an integration company to come in and be like, okay, fix this and make it perfect.
Right.
You can't, it's a glass room. So,
and it's our job to educate and partner with them earlier. I think his points are valid, but at the same time, I don't think integrators are as weak at this as I think he's alluding to. I think things are much better than they have ever been. And we have access to video like we never have had before, but audio is still a key factor. And I want to talk about this new product from Shure.
Yes.
The KSM-11 wireless vocal microphone capsule.
Yeah, there's a new capsule for its condensers.
Exactly. And if you watch any live music, right, or you watch anything that you've seen, Super Bowl halftime show to whatever, you watch concerts online or on YouTube, you see this microphone all over the place. And so now they have a new condenser for it, and they're just making the best even better. And I think Shure is the only company in the world that has the same microphone technology that they've used for more than 60 years in this one particular mic. I mean, that's just amazing what they're able to do. And I don't know. I love this product. Let's watch the video. We have a video on this new product, and sort of like if you're in rental staging, you're in live events of any kind. And of course, if you're in the church market or you're doing classrooms or auditoriums where you need to mic somebody, ultimately you're going to have a handheld mic there as a backup. Check this out.
When we're looking at vocal mics, we want the mic to produce the artist in a true form. And it was immediately obvious to us that the KSM-11 was doing that better than anything else.
When I compared it to the other very popular mic, the 11 had a much better high end to it. It was much smoother, much more natural.
I love it is because it makes my performance effortless.
The vocal is just more upfront somehow.
It's cutting right through. It just sounds so amazing.
The goal of the KSM-11 was to make the most transparent microphone capsule that we could. Field testing is a critical component of designing a product at Shure. And working with industry engineers, we were able to identify the smallest detail decisions that had the greatest impact in design.
We were getting ready for a run of festivals. A festival is your best test, really, because it's outdoors, the elements and everything. She stepped out on stage, and she still had clarity.
Benny was actually a totally different beast. He was a lot more comfortable, and the spill from the band was actually much lesser.
Those early KSM-11 prototypes sounded great. We could have actually shipped that product, but that's not how we do things at Shure.
Shure is a company that understands the bigger picture with their product and how they're designed not just for the user, but also the audience.
Rappers, MCs, they always cup the mic. That is the notorious problem with hip hop.
It's not very cool to hold a microphone like this, So you need a microphone that sounds good when you hold it like this or when you hold it like this.
I actually talked to Shure and I said, boy, it'd be really nice if you guys had a mic that could do this. And so they sent me the capsule, the KSM-11, an early version of it. I sent back some notes. They sent me back another one and I was like, you nailed it, you got it. It is consistent whether or not your artist cups the mic.
As a musical theatre vocal mic, where achieving vocal clarity is absolutely sound design 101, my first experiences of it is that it is a great step forward.
One of the other things to consider when you pick a vocal mic isn't just how it sounds in the room, but how it sounds in broadcast. And we were so impressed with how it came across on the streams, on the broadcast, and how it stood up to being listened to in that environment, as well as in a busy room.
I love designing new microphones. As you design a product over years, you learn exactly what customers need. And being able to finally deliver that need to our customers is the most exciting part.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Steph. You never think about, like, when someone hands me a microphone, I always hold it the way you're supposed to hold it. But you never think about the fact that if you're a performer, you're not saying, I need to make sure I hold this microphone properly.
No,
you're
like
your voice and your sound and your style.
Singing. Yeah.
And, you know, I have seen people just like hold microphones up like this and just grab the end of it and they, you know, go the whole entire concert that way.
Right.
You never really think about all the intricacies of having to accommodate lots of different users.
And then occasionally they'll put it on a stand and like hold the stand instead.
Even
comedians,
even comedians, right? Sometimes they'll walk around with the mic. Sometimes they'll lean against the stand. Talk about that. I mean, you got different kind of people to do it. And of course, all of us, I teach in a classroom and have to use a handheld like that when my wireless pack dies and there's no batteries in the room. Happens all the time. Wireless pack dies, no batteries in the room. Hold it, and I hold it the right way. I don't ever think about doing it a different way because I'm not a rapper. I'm not an MC or anybody like that. So but you know, this is interesting. Shure is designing products, you know, for their customers rather than the other way around.
Yes, but, I think that more people need to think about doing that. Like, think about how people are likely going to use this, or do a limited release and do like a study on how end users are using these products. So, all right, you working on my new corner graphic?
I am. Go ahead,
Harold. Okay.
Go ahead.
We're doing Launch Code Corner now, which, as you know, is another publication owned under the rAVe agency. And I wanted to let everyone know that Infocom added back their emerging tech track of education, and that Launch Code is going to headline the session, which is very exciting. So
we're going to talk about AR and VR and some cool stuff.
XR and MR and every R.
Every R, XR, all that stuff. Yes.
I think that's what you should call it. Every R.
And by the way, do you have an OLED TV yet? Do you have an OLED TV yet?
No, I don't.
Don't you want one though? I mean, like, come on, that thing looks amazing.
Yeah, I do. You know me, I want it all. But LG released those really, really pretty ultrafine OLED Pro monitors.
Yeah, and these are specifically aimed at
content
broadcast
creators,
content producers, anyone who's sort of like building for quality. So production houses, high-end staging, rental, live events. These are monitors specific. So you're going to match the colorimetry, and you can actually use the Calman calibrator. It's built into it. Just connect it. It's built into. You don't have to do any special connectivity or communication with it.
They make it in a few sizes. I think the biggest size they make is a 65-inch, which, like, imagine that, like, sitting on your desk, like a 65-inch.
I'm guessing they're hanging it, like, in front of their thing, you know?
That's bigger than the TV I have on my wall. I think I have a 55-inch TV, and my current monitor, which is also LG, I have, like, a ultra-wide LG monitor. I think the one that I have at home is like 34 inches. So I'm like trying to imagine like double that size.
65 would be like 3 times that size. Right?
Yeah. But that's nice. Like, especially for people, like I can imagine this would be really great for people who are constantly using different production applications and like really need that crystal clear, perfect picture. So, yes. All right. Last corner of the day. Gary, I'm going to let you do a little. All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, and here is Case Study Corner, hosted by Steph Beckett. So we are wanting to talk about Extron's nav system and its control script. So they provided this hybrid learning support at UNCW. I love local case studies. Wilmington is just, 2 hours down the road or so. So we like to support local. But yes, so basically their control system provided a lot of great options for UNCW.
Well, they did the whole thing. Mm-hmm. They did the whole thing AV over IP, right? Yes. And that means that the control can do anything.
Yes, it was like what, spanning 6 floors, 200 and something endpoints, one navigator or something. So very impressive.
Yeah, it's a great system, and you just need one controller for the whole building. We'll do a case study on the building we just finished at UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, cool.
The new School of Media and Journalism. We used rAVe for that, and
you did?
we'll do a case study on that later this summer. We just did the christening, or whatever you'd call it, the groundbreaking. Not groundbreaking. What's the right word when you're done with it? Grand opening. I don't know. Christening, grand opening. I don't know. We did that thing where the chancellor came and said, "You may now use the building," and so now we can use the building. We've been doing tours.
Wait, don't you christen a boat too? Isn't that where you like break
I think christening
bottle?
is appropriate for this because this is a cool looking building. It looks like it could be a boat.
Very cool.
And the bottom of it has an ESPN connected studio. It's connected directly to the ACC network. Yeah,
that's cool.
They're going to use it as their broadcast. Instead of bringing in broadcast trucks for football and basketball games, they're going to use the studio in the bottom of this building, so they don't need to. We have a direct fiber link down to the stadium and to the arena. And so at the bottom of it's an awesome studio. The top 2 floors are 5 different classrooms, all of them AV over IP using Extron Nav, but really cool system, really uniquely done, all high flex. We'll do a case study on it and share it with the world.
I'm really interested in learning more about that and how that process
and by the way, for those of you who are really into this, we did not create our own network. We used the university's the university's network to do it. So it is actually on their network at 1 gig everywhere. So
interesting. That'll be really cool to learn more about. I'm excited to see more about that. Gary, I wanted to ask you an Infocom question.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be singing at AV Ryoki this year?
AV Ryoki? Yeah. I have been known to, but usually I don't have enough drinks in me to actually be willing to get up there.
What do you mean?
We just control myself. Well, they always do it on the wrong night. And the next day I seem to always have something I have to do. Like at 8 a.m. 2 years ago or 3 years ago, last time in Infocom, that was, the big regular size Infocom.
Yeah.
The next day I had to meet LG in their booth at like 7:30 in the morning. And we did a 45-minute straight live broadcast, right?
Oh.
And so there was no way in hell I was going to have enough to drink to do karaoke for a bunch of AV people. But I don't know. So I guess it depends on what I got to do the next day.
The AV people who I don't know. Trade show AV people are so different. Like they will drink until the sunrise and then they look normal by 8 a.m. too on the show floor.
I don't know how they do it. I can't do it. Maybe when I was younger. You can do it, Steph. Come on, you're young.
I'm getting up there, Gary. I just had a birthday.
You're
I'm
getting up
28
there.
now.
You're in their mid-20s.
I am over the hill,
Hey, by the way, do you know your generation? You're a young millennial.
Yes.
And then the generation behind you is Gen Z. Did you know that there's another generation that's already alive that is actually now as old as 3.5 years old?
No, but I guess
Gen
I do
Z
now.
is done. All the Gen Zs have been born. The next generation is called Generation Alpha. And you should go, if anyone's interested in this, I've been studying this along with someone else in our organization she and I are both obsessed with these different generations. Generation Alpha is the first generation where they've had a screen in front of their face since they almost born.
Oh my God, wait.
They've been entertained by a screen, meaning babies will literally be given an iPhone and at 6, 7, 8 months old can actually know where to click on the screen to get it to do things. And this is a kind of a weird anomaly that only this generation has. And no one knows how that's going to affect them in the future. But literally these babies, you're traveling, your kids yelling and screaming. Back in the old days, you try to make them fall asleep. Now you just put an iPhone in front of their face and load up baby YouTube videos and they sit there and coo over them.
So, okay, that was literally the joke that I was going to make because you were like, oh, there's a new generation. I was like, haha, yeah, the iPad kid generation. But
it's literally called I think it is actually called the iPad or iPhone generation.
Yeah.
But
because some of my friends are, having kids now and all of their kids, they'll tug on you and be like, you got games on your phone? And I'm like, you're literally a year old. How?
I got an analogy to this. When my kids were born, I said, I am never letting them eat McDonald's because it is bad for you. And I don't want them to get into that habit. One day, driving home from swim practice, they're both really, really young and they're yelling and screaming in the backseat how hungry they are. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to go home and make dinner. And And I'm like, hell, I'm stopping at McDonald's, right? And I broke my, so you can say you're not going to give your kid a screen, but when your kid's yelling and screaming, and you know that they can be calmed down, it's going to become a normal thing. It's not going to become a bad thing. Like McDonald's isn't bad. It's only bad if you go to it every day.
Yeah.
Second, having a screen in front of you isn't bad. It's only bad if that's the only way they can communicate.
Yeah, there's some show that is like the show that like infants are watching right now.
Yes.
Coco Melon. Yes, Coco
Yes,
Melon.
Coco Melon. Oh my God, that is it. I was with someone that you and I know really well, who's a big VP at a big giant display manufacturer at Disney World, and he introduced me to Coco Melon through his 1.5-year-old controlling the phone and watching this. And I was like, what is this? This is crazy. But she loves it, and it's actually like interestingly, weirdly entertaining. Very creative.
So the main character of Coco Melon is named JJ, and one of my best friends has a 1.5-year-old as well. And when her child starts crying, she cries for JJ. So, and whenever she gets upset, she'll just start crying. And like, she's like, what did happen? She'll be like, JJ.
Coco Melon goes out on tour and fills up basketball and hockey arenas.
That's terrifying. No.
It's the truth. Google it.
This is the new, what's that? There was like another show with like police
Bieber,
dogs and like firefighter dogs. Later. Paw Patrol. This is Coco Melon is the new Paw Patrol. And if you learned anything on rAVe TV today, know that Coco Melon is the new Paw Patrol. If you don't know who Coco Melon is, clearly you're too old to have had kids that are sitting at home with their phones in front of their faces instead of playing with wooden toys. Yeah.
I can't imagine like choice, wooden toy, iPhone. I'm pretty sure I would have picked the iPhone too. No offense to the wooden toy company.
I don't know. My dad would eventually just like when I was growing up would eventually just like because I was a big Xbox kid.
Yeah.
So my dad would just like come up and turn off the TV eventually and be like, "Go outside. You're done. Like I don't want to see you for 2 hours. Like go play in the neighborhood."
Well, that explains a lot. Actually, we can close on that segment because this literally explained everything I needed to know about Steph. So we're done.
That my dad said he didn't want to see me for 2 hours. So. Great. Xbox. Okay. This has been another episode of rAVe TV. We will see you next Wednesday, 12 Eastern, right here on rAVe Pubs, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter and Facebook.
As long as Elon allows us to continue to broadcast on Twitter, we will be coming to you on Twitter.
Yeah. And if not, I'll call him up. All right. So this has been rAVe TV. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.